The number one problem every business owner faces today is basically invisibility. All the people that you want to help that you are not currently helping probably don't even know you exist. But if you write the right book, it can capture your perfect avatar's attention, and it can create this almost instant desire and builds the right trust in people so that they desire to buy more of your stuff, so that you get consistent leads, sales, and clients because you're solving people's problems and delivering results.
Welcome to the Inside Forbes Council's podcast. Each episode shares transformative insights and advice from members of Forbes Councils, a group of invitation-only communities for successful executives and entrepreneurs. This is Inside Forbes Councils.
Hey everyone, this is Stephen Ganoza. Welcome to Inside Forbes Councils. Today, we have my interview with Trevor Crane, a member of the Forbes Coaches Council and founder of Epic Author Publishing. We discussed Trevor's experience of finding success after many failures, his process and best tips for writing the right book fast, how to become a best-selling author, and why the number of book sales is not the only metric for success. Today we are joined by Trevor Crane, a 12-time #1 best-selling author and founder of Epic Author Publishing. Trevor, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
So it's really nice to have a podcast intro where someone says nice things about you. But the truth is, I grew up the son of a horseshoer in Phoenix, Arizona. My biggest fear is that I would never accomplish anything in my life, anything of any substance. And then when I grew up and finally I achieved some success after some hard work and mostly a lot of failure, I actually lost everything twice. And it was really like at the worst stage of my life. I filed a $2.2 million bankruptcy. So as much as it's great to say I've written books and they become bestsellers and I now help people do the same thing, there's nothing special about me. I just, I finally figured out the path to create some successes in my life. And I'm excited to share that and pay that forward.
What was that first success?
Let me see. So I made my first 7 figures. I made my first $1 million in a water sports business. I wanted to be adventure Trevor and have an adventure business. So I had wave runners and parasailing and scuba diving and adventure tours and in Naples, Florida. And it was great. It was actually on the tail of one of the most challenging things that ever happened to me. The first week of that business, brother, we had somebody get hit by lightning, actually 2 kids. So the first week of this new business, I had a 19-year-old and a 14-year-old get hit by lightning and watch them float down in this parachute, basically not breathing, and like land in the water. And then we had to go and give them rescue breaths and try to bring them back to life. And that was my first week in my new business. And that business, my partner ended up quitting. He couldn't pass. But I'll not leave this as too much of an open loop. We did save their lives. So the 19-year-old girl, the 14-year-old boy, we did breathe life back into them. But my business partner couldn't handle it. He said, this kind of sucks. This is too dangerous. But that was my first 7-figure business. And then I ended up losing. That was one of the first businesses I lost, actually. So I lost that business. And then I've done really well in 2 or 3 other industries.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about how did you go from, adventures and water sports into publishing? Tell me about that transition.
So do you remember the movie Back to the Future? Like it was with Michael J. Fox and Back to the Future. There was this scene, like I think I always grew up knowing that I wanted to write a book. Like it was one of those things. It was like the culmination of Marty McFly's journey back into time, where his dad was a geek, and then he went back into time, and then he came back, and his dad was now cool. The culmination of that, there's this scene where his dad actually opens his first box of books and hands one to his son and says, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And I think that planted this little seed inside of me that that's what it meant to be a success. But for 20 years, I tried and failed to publish my first book. So one stage I kept thinking, who's ever going to want to read my stuff? Like, who am I? I had all these self-doubt, and I haven't accomplished anything great yet, so I can't publish that book. So that lasted for the better part of a decade. And then as I started to evolve and I started to create some different successes in my life, I thought, now I don't have time. And made all these excuses, but brother, it kept showing up on my New Year's resolutions, like to publish a book. But like I said, I would put it on the New Year's resolutions list and fail to get it done. And I'm not saying I didn't take action. Like I would write down stories, and some people would blow smoke up my skirt and say, Trevor, you should write a book. And I'd try to write a book about this, and I'd try to write a book about that. And I'd stay up late and I'd wake up early and I'd write and wasn't making any progress until I finally broke down and hired my first mentor. So I found someone who had been successful getting his own book done and building a 7-figure business on the back end, but had also been really good at helping others do the same thing. And finally, I stopped being stupid. And I thought that a book was easy. Like you put words on paper, slap a cover on it, and it would help you create success. But that's not what I was having. So within 3 months, I found working with the right mentor, I found the right book to publish. That book I got done in 24 hours. It became a #1 bestseller. It stayed a bestseller on Amazon for a long, long time. And even better than that was over the next 12 months, I 10x'd my income. So anybody listening right now, if you can imagine what that would do for you, like put a 0 on the back of the most money you've ever made and see if that makes a difference in your life. And I didn't do it by selling books. I did it because more people wanted to buy my products and services. So I was right there hooked. I mean, I'd been a coach and consultant for a long time, but I was always struggling and pushing and feeling like I always had to pitch myself. And when I wrote the right book, and I want to be clear about this, I went to my first book mentor, and my first book idea was not it. Like within 5 minutes of working with my first book mentor, I realized that the book I had been working on, I needed to just set to the side. I basically started over from scratch. So I went back to the drawing board and I created the next best book idea. Second book idea, shot dead. That's not the right book. I did that 4 times. And then my original, the book that finally is the one that I wrote, my original title sucked so bad that everybody in this little community, because I had this community of supporting authors who were trying to help me get this done, everybody hated it. That's not true. There are 1 or 2 broke people that were not my ideal client that thought it was a great title. Everybody's successful, everybody cool. My mentor, they're like, this title sucks. So they helped me retitle that book, figure out what it was going to be about. And like I said, I got the right book done. Once I knew it, once I knew what it was and I understood how I was going to use it, I got 24 hours, the book was done, and everything changed from there.
There's a lot to unpack there. My first immediate question is, what was your original title? What was the end title?
The original title. So my first book started out the $300,000 Holy Grail, because for me, I had made $300,000 with this system, but nobody knew what the $300,000 Holy Grail was. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
And so what it turned out to be, what we did is my mentors in this community and the amazing support and the team of people that helped me, which is my first advice to anybody in getting this done, is find a mentor to help you get this done, because then they're there to ask you the right questions to make sure that you don't publish the wrong book or something that's confusing to your audience. And I see so many people make this mistake getting their books done, is they have this great idea, great content, but it's poorly like marketed and put together, and so then their message lands on deaf ears. The book title that we finally came up with was around the result that my book was going to deliver. So the title of my first best-selling book is called High Paying Clients, a step-by-step system to help people sell high-ticket products and services. Yeah, I think I got the subtitle a little bit wrong, but
that's much clearer though. So.
Yeah, it's like people get this book, they're going to get high-paying clients, a step-by-step, simple system to sell high-ticket products and services. I think that's it.
Okay. I'm curious now about the insights that the mentor was able to provide. So it's like, maybe somebody who doesn't think that a mentor would be valuable in this situation. What are the kind of questions that your book mentors asked you? How did they help you discern that, these 4 ideas are not the one, it's this one over here, that's the one to put forward first?
Great question. So the right mentor helped me. And what I now do as a mentor to others is I help ask the right questions to help people make sure they write the right book. And so my mentor asked me, how this book was like, what were the results I wanted from this book? What were the results I wanted to deliver my clients for this book? How was I going to use this book to get those results? How could I make sure that there was something beyond the book that would actually help my readers to offer them products and services that were beyond it? Because I wanted my book, when I was asked those questions, I wanted my book to position my expertise. I wanted to become an authority in my niche. I wanted to genuinely help and serve people. And I wanted them to buy my products and services. I thought I was kind of cool. And I wanted people to buy my stuff. And I wanted this book to position that. I wanted it to plant little bread seeds. And so when my first book idea was about a poem I wrote that was really cute. It's a really nice poem. But like my mentor was like, so are you a poet? Like, I'm a little confused about how you have a book about a poem and you're a business consultant and you help people make high ticket sales and do all this stuff. Like, how is that relevant? And I'm like, well, this poem helped save my life. Like, I was passionate about this poem. I still have a poem that'll last for 2 minutes long, Stephen. I could go on and tell you this whole poem that like shifted everything, but it's a mindset poem. So it was just the wrong book. So the right mentor helps people get the right book done because they help you reverse engineer what are the results you want. So we get really clear at the first phase with Epic Author Publishing. What we do is we help people get really clear about the results they want before they begin. Think of it like building a house, Stephen. So the right mentor is like the architect. That's like if you wanted to build a dream house, to have this amazing book that is going to really position your expertise long term, just like if you're building a dream house, you would first go to an architect and they'd help you with the blueprint or plan. So step number one and phase one of this game is get a clear plan. And this plan doesn't even happen until you get clear about how you're going to use this house. Like, is it a single family home? Is it a multi-million-dollar mansion? Is it an outhouse, which is in a very important house, depending on where you are in the world? Is it an apartment complex? Like, what is it? Like, how are you going to use it? Are you going to have guests there? Do you have 5 kids? Do you have no kids? And depending on the phase of your life that you are in business, like you might not, you may publish the wrong book. You may build the wrong house. So phase one, step one, is to come up with the plan phase one is actually, you got to get clear about the results you want and the results you want for others. What are the problems you solve? That's clear first. And then the plan is really a path. Most authors fail at getting the right book done because they don't create a profitable path to monetize their mission. So they have this beautiful help other people, kumbaya, namaste, a vision of helping and serving and just getting the message out. But if they don't have a business plan and a business model that will help them monetize their message, then it lands on deaf ears. Not only that, they can't afford to spend the time, money, energy, and resources that it takes to do the marketing to let even anybody know that this amazing book exists. So if you don't have that profitable path, if your book can't make you another dollar more than you invest to get it into people's hands, then no one will ever know it exists, which is the number one problem business owners face today. The number one problem every business owner faces today is basically invisibility. All the people that you want to help that you are not currently helping probably don't even know you exist. And so one of the things you get with a book is instant when you write the right book. Let's be clear. If you had a book about poetry, maybe that's not going to be the book that's going to get everybody's attention about your amazingness. But if you write the right book, it can capture your perfect avatar's attention. And it can create this almost instant desire and builds the right trust in people so that they desire to buy more of your stuff, so that you get consistent leads, sales, and clients because you're solving people's problems and delivering results. And Stephen, I just ranted so long. I have no idea what question you actually asked or if I even answered it.
That's okay. I'm just going to go with, I'm just going to try to unpack this process a little. So in your mind, the goal of writing a book then is not to generate sales. I mean, you were successful insofar as you were a #1 bestseller 12 times, even though like you kind of don't like to talk about that, but you are. But that's not the goal here. So the goal is more that the book is sort of a lead gen tool of sorts.
So when someone writes the right book, when a business owner, coach, consultant, speaker, thought leader, when you create a book that is the right book and the right message for you, then the purpose of this book is not to sell copies. Like if you want to make $1 million, you have to sell 1 million books, and you have to sell a lot more than that. In traditional publishing, you think you only get paid like 10 cents or $1. You get paid the smallest amount of money per book. So most people are not in the book selling business. You have your own mission and movement that you want to move forward. So the right way to get this book done, and what books are really used for, I believe, is to capture people's attention and drive them to action. You want to capture their attention, amplify that attention by solving problems, building goodwill, delivering results, and then basically planting little seeds so that people understand the path that they can go ahead and get more of your help. So a book's really there, I believe, to become your most powerful marketing tool, to forward your brand, your business, your movement, your mission, whatever it is that you're most passionate about. And there's so many cool ways that you can do it with a book that people don't even know about. But then the money and the income you make is more because you have a money machine, a business machine behind the book. I mean, J.K. Rowling is a very famous author, and everybody knows her because of the Harry Potter series. And most people don't realize that the billions of dollars that she's worth today is generated by selling butterbeer, rides at Disneyland, magic wands, and magic capes than it is by selling books. Like, her business is the big business beyond the book. In fact, I haven't seen her profit and loss statement, so I can't say this exactly, but if you look at her balance sheet, I'm very confident that book sales are on the low end of what makes her $1 billion, if that makes sense. So
these lessons could also be applied to fiction then?
Beyond a shadow of a doubt. I mean, that's a perfect example. I mean, let's look at Stephen King. I mean, he's got amazing books, and I'm sure he's made millions selling his books. And so has James Patterson, which has been one of my mentors in helping figure out how to write the right book. And I can share some of his strategies as well, which has just been phenomenal. But the businesses behind those, look at the movies and the merchandising and everything that goes beyond it. So it doesn't mean that it has to be. There are people out there that will make money with their books and only books, but I think they're few and far between. And my perfect client would be business owners, entrepreneurs, successful coaches, consultants, people who are already great at what they do. They just want to get more attention. They want to become more well-known. And then the right book there can position their brand, their mission, their movement. And as long as they have this profitable path to monetize that, to make more money than it costs you to put this word out to the world, then you've got something that can actually, perpetuate itself. If not, then you've got this thing that you're running a nonprofit into the ground because you're not going to keep throwing money, time, energy, and resources into this thing. And a lot of authors say, well, I'm not writing this book to make any money, which is totally fine. I think it's great to just be altruistic and help people and all of that. But if you don't have a business plan behind your mission, then this machine dies. It dies, and most people don't get that. Brother, I work with as many authors that are already published, and many of them bestsellers, as I do new aspiring authors. And they come to me because they have horrible or almost non-existent marketing. They believe that there's this misconception of authorship that I think is insane. And it's that if you build it, they will come. Like, I think it's with the Kevin Costner in the Field of Dreams, right? If you build it, they will come. If I write it, they will come. And they are confused that the right way to get this done is they'll get inspired by a podcast like this, or let me write my book, and then they'll start writing their book, which is the right thing to do, but it's in the wrong sequence because they're writing quite possibly the wrong book. Now, I know this personally because I did that for 20 years. I wrote the wrong book for 20 years. And spent a whole bunch of time working very hard on it. So the right way is to get really clear about the results you want, then to create a profitable path, that plan to monetize this mission or movement. The biggest challenge most business owners and authors face is that they are invisible to the people they most want to help. I typically work with people who are great at what they do, maybe even the best at what they do, but they haven't figured out how to get their message to more people to help them and support them. And the number one best way to do that, if you write the right book, it can become your most powerful marketing tool that can help you connect with and attract the people that you want to serve, especially if you understand how to market and leverage that book. And that book becomes the first step. It's not the last step. It's really the beginning of them getting the opportunity to work with you. And that the right book creates instant authority, credibility, People trust you almost instantly when you write the right book and you have the courage to share vulnerable things. And then the right book will also create this burning desire inside of your perfect client to want to work with you, to want more. And then your book should plant these little seeds like Hansel and Gretel, these little breadcrumbs to like where they want to go. And you just want to lead them to the rest of your great stuff. So one of our clients just began with us. His name is Travis Perry. And in 90 days, he was able to implement our system. He got his plan. He started to promote that until he started to profit. In 90 days, he generated $123,000 in new business and sales. In 90 days. That was before he even had the cover done for his book. And then the week after he accomplished that, so that was the first 90 days, he then pre-launched his book. People don't know that you can do this, but he pre-launched his book on Amazon. It became a #1 bestseller. So he's now a #1 bestseller of his new book. The only thing he's written so far is the cover. He has a cover and a simple description of the book. So he practiced what we preach. He promoted, he profited, and now he published, and now he has Amazon is your billion-dollar business partner, and they are with Travis in this case. And now he has some time to dial the rest of the book in. And we spend the next 90 days in creation. The same week that he became #1 bestseller, he generated another $27,000 of new sales. Because he's not in the book selling business. He is in the business of offering his products and services to people he can help. He says he's never been more fulfilled. He takes every Friday off and he takes weekends off to be with his family. He has a family of 8. Wow. And by the way, he also shared with me that he made more money in 3 months with us than he did in all of last year. So he made more money in 3 months than he did in 12. So he's 40 years old, by the way. So another one of our clients is Dr. Mimi Sakur, and she is 62 years old, or she's 62 years old when she published her first book. And she struggled for a long time in getting the right book done and getting it done quickly and leveraging it in her brand and her movement. And she now fills a 6-month mentorship that she does with her clients. She works with nurse practitioners to help them increase their health, confidence, and success. And she builds a healthy 6-figure business on that and just fills her pipeline from clients that are getting her book. And then I guess the other example I would use for you as far as will this work for me, because then we have a 40-year-old, we have a 60-year-old, and then we've got my daughter. So my daughter wrote her first book when she was 7 years old. This is her first book. It's called The 3 Ninja Kitties. She became a best-selling author on her 8th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Today she's 13 years old today. She has 11 #1 best-selling books, and she's building a business on the back of them. So she teaches kids and parents to publish books. She consistently makes over $1,000 an hour running her workshops, helping kids and parents write great books and change the world. So, if a 7-year-old can do it, if someone in their 40s can do it, we've got 90 down to, we've got a 5-year-old that has written a book. If they can do it and build a business and a mission and a movement behind it, then you can too. The question is, does it work? Can I do it? And will I get some help? And it does work if you have the right system. Yes, you can do it if you get the right help. And if you get some support and help from our team at Epic Author, we're going to help you every step of the way so that you can create a profitable path to monetize your mission.
But much like there's so much noise in social media, right? Self-publishing makes it that anybody can write a book. So now there's so much noise on Amazon. So if there's no gatekeepers with traditional publishing to publish a book, how does it really provide benefit? Are you working exclusively in the traditional publishing space, or are you doing self-publishing?
So with the advent of self-publishing going against traditional publishing, it really, self-publishing has thrown traditional publishing on its ear. I mean, the #1 platform on the planet that sells books is Amazon, and anybody can publish a book there. So the advantage that everyone has today in this marketplace is this. Anybody and everybody can publish their book now. You're not looking for for Penguin or Random House to don you with the hat of you are now worthy to publish your book. So anybody can publish something, but most people will publish crap. Most people are going to publish things that really suck. So when you work with the right mentor or work with someone like Epic Author, or just make sure that your book really is reverse engineered to create results, and your book will massively help people solve problems, deliver results, and paint a path for them to do more, your book is going to stand out in the marketplace like nobody else. Like, because you can basically be heads and shoulders above everyone else and stand out, because your book will be the book that actually gets people's attention. If you do this right, you get the right plan, then you promote and profit. You promote your plan, your book idea. This is what James Patterson told me. So I took a masterclass from James Patterson, who's like one of the world's most successful authors ever. And he said, you come up with a great book idea. That's the plan, right? Then you talk to people about it, ideally your ideal reader or audience. And you say, hey, what do you think about this story, this idea, this plan? And if they look you in the eyes and they're like, oh my gosh, that's kind of cool, that's pretty, I like it, then this might work. And if you're in business, I would challenge anybody listening right now to not listen to just compliments or criticisms, because you're going to get both, but to actually attract clients. This is the second phase of getting your book done, in my opinion. This is the most valuable thing I have done and my clients have done to create phenomenal results. You pick a path, you promote it, you keep promoting it until you create all this desire. This is proving that your book actually has desire and demand before you put all that hard work to getting it done. If you do this, you actually have a book that matters to people. And the measure is whether or not you get paid. The measure is whether or not they will invest time, money, energy, and resources in you because they want you to help them, which is like the most phenomenal thing. My clients publish the right book because it's proven content. These are messages that you have proven in the marketplace. And this is billion-dollar advice. This is billion-dollar business advice. Apple, Star Wars, Hollywood, Elon Musk promoting Tesla is going to go ahead and let you know what's coming and build desire and demand for this new thing before it comes out. And they use it as a testing ground. The marketing is one of the most important things, not just to get people's attention, but to make sure that your message makes a difference.
So how would you do that practically? Would you just like post on social media, like I'm thinking about writing this book, and see if there's engagement? Like, dude,
that's exactly what it is. So here's the answer. Like the way to practically promote your message before it comes out is just so simple. So everyone has a phone, right? And this is like the tool that each and every one of us can use to go ahead and broadcast our message to the world. So it starts with this. I call it the declaration phase. You draw a line in the sand and you decide that you're going to publish a book. You're gonna get the right book done. And so it starts with exactly that. You basically start telling people, you declare that you're going to get it done. And ideally, anybody listening right now can hear that you're working with someone who helps people publish books. And I want to help you publish your book. So if you're listening to me right now, I want to help you publish your book. And you can right now use that as your statement on social media. You can tell your mom, you can send your email list, you can post it on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. You can do a TikTok on it of, oh my gosh, here's the script, brother. Oh my gosh, right? Oh my gosh, I just had a publisher reach out to me. I'm reaching out right now. And wants to publish my new book. I'm so excited. That begins the journey. And then I could tell you so many success stories of people who do this. It's a very scary thing for a lot of people to do. But what happens is, instead of getting flack and negative feedback, you get an amazing positive response. And every one of those people who respond, even your mom and your next door neighbor and the crazy cat lady, like, will respond. These are all positive. This is all positive feedback. And here's what you do next, brother. If they're a good prospect for anybody who gives you a thumbs up, a smiley face, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get it. The next step is to do a book interview with them. Can I interview you for my book? Write that down. If anybody's listening right now, write that down. Can I interview you for my book? And if it's your mom or the crazy cat lady or someone else, you're like, oh my God, this person is not who I'm writing the book for. Don't do an interview with them. Love them. Love their cats, but you don't need to do an interview with them. Instead, you ask them another question. I call it the 7 magic words. Who do you know I can interview? So if it's a perfect prospect for your book, you can say, can I interview you? This is phenomenal marketing. This is what I call ninja marketing, because nobody knows that you're marketing. But what you're doing is you're building trust and desire. You can actually, like, if you're an actor and you're going to go on Hollywood and become a cop, right? And you're going to have to go be this badass cop that do all these things. Actors will probably go do some homework. They probably go hang out with other cops and figure out how to be cop-like, how to walk cop-like. So put on your author hat and tell the world you're getting it done. If you look at all of the best movies and anybody who's really super successful in business, they always pre-promote. And it starts with just your raw authenticity of excitement that you're finally going to get it done. And this also hangs you, because now you're screwed because you have to get it done. You've now told the world it's coming. And then people are like, but what book am I writing? Dude, that's why you're interviewing people. You need to figure it out. my first book, my book that became my #1 bestseller, my first title sucked so hard. I never would have figured out the right title had I not started talking about the wrong one. Most people are too scared to do this the right way. And they think that the safe way to get it done is to just sit in their study, in their office. Most people think the right way to write a book is to just make it perfect. And they write and they stay up late and they're an artist, and how many famous artists do you know that are still alive? There's this thing called a starving artist. Well, there's also a starving author. The starving author sits down and they put all their greatness in a book without actually connecting with and communicating with other people, as opposed to testing this in the real world, pre-creating desire and demand, and then you write the right book, you get it done fast, and it automatically becomes a bestseller. And if you do this right, because you now have an army of advocates that you have connected with that are like looking forward to the next Star Wars movie, the new iPhone 10,000, and now your new book that's coming out. Because there's people who are raving about it. Most people are too scared and they're trying to be a perfectionist. And it's just, they're just being fearful of being judged. Be brave, be raw, be authentic, throw it out there, and you can write the right book and get it done well.
Now, getting over that fear is sort of a tough thing. So what advice do you have in terms of if you are afraid of that judgment or negative feedback?
That's a great question. So a lot of people are very scared of getting the feedback on their book content, their title, on putting something out there. And I get it because I grew up with those same fears. And what I found is all my deepest, darkest secrets, all of my fears, all of my failures, all the things I was scared to share with another. Like I filed a $2.2 million bankruptcy at one stage, and I was so embarrassed that I had lost everything. Brother, I lost my house. I lost my car. I was in love with a woman and we had a daughter together, and she took my 2-year-old and left me. And I didn't want anybody to ever know that stuff. But here's the thing. When you have the courage to share your darkest moments, your darkest secrets, what's really raw, and you just share and connect with people will come out of the woodwork. Like I actually found that the place for genius, the place to actually find the messages that will attract people is exactly in the things that you fear. The things that you scare you most, it's really a signpost to go ahead, and that's the direction you need to go, and that's what you need to do most. And most people's opinion, when you share that way, you're not pontificating, you're not trying to put a new filter on your Instagram post showing how beautiful your life is. You're being real, raw, and authentic, and you're you're trying to share your message in such a way that it's relevant to other people. Because sometimes your message doesn't make sense to even you when you first say it. So you need to practice it. You need to do these podcasts and talk to people and look them in the eyes and say, hey, I don't even understand what the hell I just said. So just the path for your success is through, anything worth doing well, brother, is worth doing poorly at first. So if someone's scared for it, just put it out there. And what you're going to find is there's amazing, if you share from a raw place of just trying to connect and help, I have never seen it go against someone when they share from that place inside of how they really want to help, but they share from a raw place, a vulnerable place. Vulnerability is power. Fear is power. That's a signpost for this is something that should get your attention in the direction you should go.
So what if you understand the growth aspect of this, you understand the marketing aspect of the strategy, but you're just not a good writer? What do you do?
How do I get a great book done if I'm not a great writer? And a lot of people struggle with this. The answer is that you shouldn't get your book done on your own. So it's always getting some help. I always recommend that you find the right mentor, and then your mentor is going to put the right team of people around you to help you. Just like if you were building a house, you'd have an architect, a general contractor, a roofer, a plumber, an electrician. And in getting the right book done, there's typically an army of people, especially the more successful the author and more successful the business, the more people are going to contribute. But you have writers that help you make sure it makes sense. You have people that will read it and give you feedback on it, who are your ideal client prospect. You have an editor that's going to dot I's and cross T's. And I wouldn't recommend that this just is your mom and your dad and your sister and your friend and whatnot, but that you hire someone who's a professional at what they do, and they'll go through and they will help you edit it. They'll help make it, they'll help get it done. They'll help format it so it looks delicious. I mean, you want your book to not look like this yucky self-published book that most people will put out. They'll put out crap. They'll try to do it all themselves. They'll try to write it themselves, edit themselves, format it themselves, do the marketing themselves, do the cover themselves. Like, the more successful you become, the more help you need. And if you want your book to look amazing, then there's a handful of people at least that should contribute. So if you find the right mentor, then they can give you the team of people that will help you make it magnificent. Because if you get a leak in your house, I mean, maybe you're a handyman and you can go ahead and fix that leak, or fix the roof, or do the electrical and do the glass and hang the tile and paint the wall and change the carpet and do the tile and, but you don't want to need to be a master of all. It's called jack of all trades, is master of none. So you want to do what you do best. And oftentimes there's a team of people that can help you. They will do what they do best. And then this process becomes very easy. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't have to be a great writer. Some people will just speak their story out and then find someone to help them just make it make sense. And it's oftentimes less is more. For those people who were in school and they weren't the best student, okay, I'm raising my hand right now because that was me, who thought I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not a good writer, I got a D on my writing exam or whatever. I'm going to give you the best way to get this book done, and it's 137. Okay, my answer of getting a book done without having to write it yourself, the answer is 137. Number one, find the right mentor. The smartest thing you can do is get some help. Any successful author that you can think of, go to the back of their book, find the acknowledgments, and you're going to hear a litany of people that help them get it done. There's this huge misconception that for you to write a great book, that you need to do it alone. Like, all of us live somewhere. We live in a house, we live in an apartment, or if you're homeless, then I'm wrong. But for those of us who live someplace, you probably didn't build your house. Very few people actually built it, but it's still yours, baby. Even if you rent it, it's yours right now. But you didn't have to put in the electrical, hang the shingles, do all of that. Number one is find the right mentor. And you do that by picking a mentor who's created phenomenal results for themselves, and they've helped others create those same results. You want to look at your mentor and judge them not based on how cool they are, but on the results they've created for others. If you like the results they've created for others, you might have a mentor that's worth following. So so I said 137. Mm-hmm. That was number one. 3, there's 3 phases to getting the right book done. It's plan, promote, and then publish. So phase 1 is plan. And that plan should be done with an architect. Like, you need to get somebody who helps you. That's why I started with mentor. You get the plan, the profitable path to monetize this message, and then you promote it. You do the scary thing. You put this marketing message out and you say, I'm publishing a book. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. Be raw. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Should I write about money or marshmallows or mushrooms or whatever? Mars. I'm not sure. But then you connect and you keep promoting until you profit. That's phase 2. Phase 1 is the plan. Phase 2 is promote and profit. And then phase 3 is you publish what's been proven. What people are lining up for, what people are going, where you have this army of advocates that go, man, I got to get that. When are you going to have that book? When are you going to have that book come out? When are you going to have that book come out? This is desire, baby. Imagine going to the bar. You want to be sexy. Come on. You're trying to pick something up. You're like, hey, I want to dress just right. Have my dress fit me just right. I actually don't wear dresses to the bar, but you want to be desired. Right. And then you're going to be picky. You're not at the bar to be some floozy and take anybody home. You're trying to be desirable, and then you handpick the best. Is you're going to handpick your own content. So number 3 is plan, promote until you profit, and then you publish. And then I said 137. So that was the 1. Find a mentor. Number 2 was the 3. Where the second part was the 3 phases, and then 7. There's 7 steps. So I'll give you 7 steps real fast. Strategy, structure, story. Most people get this wrong. This is the first 3 of the 7 steps. Most people start with their stories, and they're like, "Hey, I got hit by lightning. I filed a bankruptcy." They start with the story, which is so confusing. Get your strategy right first. That's the strategic plan. Then you structure the outline, the table of contents. And again, you're doing this with help, a mentor and maybe a team of people that are helping you. Then you fill in the stories that are like spices, man. It's like chicken's the main dish. Like, then you decide that you're going to have a meal and it's going to be dinner. That's the strategy. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, okay, the structure is, we're going to have an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. That's the structure. Then the story is like, okay, we're going to have, we're going to put rosemary chicken. Woo! Like, oh, that's nice. Grandma's secret recipe, so that you need to pick the right stories. And you can't tell everything in the history of everything. Like, you don't want to pack in everything that's ever happened to you. It's like overpacking your luggage and then you're carrying like 17 bags on an airplane. It doesn't make sense. So the first 3 steps are strategy, structure. Stories get sprinkled in like spices. Too much pepper or salt or cayenne will kill it. And then you set a date. Number 4, the 4th step is you set a date. Because if you do this, you've now said, Stephen, I'm getting a book done. Mom and Dad, I'm getting a book done. And it's happening by January 1st. It's happening by whatever. And now you're like, oh my God, I got a deadline.
Right.
I mean, Steve Jobs said that the most important thing was to set a shipping date and to deliver that product by a shipping date. And the last 3 steps here in this 7-part, I said strategy, structure, story, set a date, and then it's speak, scribe, source. So every single one of us can actually talk, or you can use Braille or whatever. You can talk it out. You're not in a world, you're not Ernest Hemingway. You weren't born in the 1800s. You don't have to go on sabbatical and become a great, you have a team of people to help you. You can speak it out. There's free resources that you can use that will transcribe it. There's so many today, it's not even worth me even announcing them. You can pay to have it transcribed, or you can have another human transcribe it. But the last step is source. If you were to build a great house today, let me ask you guys a question. If you were to build a phenomenal house today, would you go down to Home Depot, buy yourself some wood, get all fired up, come home with nails, and then start nailing it together in your backyard? Probably not, because nothing you build in your backyard is going to go in your dream house. Instead, you get the right blueprint plan, the right team of people to help you put it together. And the source part is you source someone else to help you. Someone else to take your maybe spoken word and then turn it into something that can be this beautiful manuscript. Most authors are using an army of people to create their ultimate book. And those are most successful authors. Most forthcoming authors think they have to do it all themselves. It's the biggest myth and lie in the marketplace. And it's what makes people fail and have this go on forever. So if you use those 7 steps, the team of people helps you get it done. So my answer of the smartest thing you can do to get your book done without you writing it yourself is 1, 3, 7. That was a long answer, brother. So here, if the one thing that everybody can do today to move this forward and to get the right book done is to just commit that you're going to just decide that you're going to get it done. Like, look yourself in the mirror, put your hand over your heart and decide that you are going to write a book. You don't need to actually pick which book it is. Just decide that that's what you want to do in the world. And then if I can be so bold as to give you a second step, it'd be to find someone to help you. Like, if you just decide that you're going to get it done, now find a mentor who's already been there. You know, just imagine with Alice in Wonderland. No, it's Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. When Dorothy ended up in Oz, she decided, I want to go home. And then she didn't know how to get there. And maybe you don't know how to get to the promised land either, to become this best-selling author and to stand out from the competition. But she had the courage to ask for directions. And the little people in this case, and in my case, the example here is you're Dorothy, you're wearing the blue dress, and you've got Toto, and I'm the little people. So I'm the little people, and I'm just pointing you down the path. There is a path through the jungle. Now, you can be Jungle Jane and you can be Tarzan and figure it out, but there's lions and tigers and bears, oh my, in the forest. Or you can just skip down the path and along this golden road that is the path to get to the Emerald City and whatnot, you're gonna encounter some more help. There's the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the lion, the cow. You're gonna need a team of people that are gonna help you get there, so you don't have to do it all on your own. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to the Emerald City, you're gonna click your heels together and realize, oh my gosh, it was me the whole time. I've always had the power inside of me. But it'll never happen if you don't decide you want to get home to Kansas and you find some guidance along the way.
I mean, a lot of great information here. I want to tie this back to you in Epic Author Publishing. So tell me, if somebody listening to this likes what they hear, they want you to help them. So tell me a little bit about how people can get in touch with you.
So Epic Author Publishing helps aspiring authors write the right book and turn it into the most powerful marketing tool. So that it helps you grow your business, your brand, your movement, your mission, and helps you get consistent leads and clients. So typically we work with successful business owners, coaches, consultants, speakers, people who are already great at what they do, but they just want to get more attention. And then we help them do that almost instantly. We give them an instant author strategies they can use that will garner them almost immediate attention with the marketplace. And I gave you a couple strategies today, even just saying, I'm going to go get this thing done I'm going to the moon. Like Elon Musk says, we're going to Mars. And half the people think he's crazy. And the other half of people think he's awesome. And half the people think he's awesome also think he's crazy. But he had the courage to put the declaration out that he's going somewhere. And that's one of the things that I think people miss. And so it's one of the key strategies we help people with so that they actually know the next steps, though, because it can be confusing. And so we give them all the steps to make that happen and connect with people and get consistent leads and sales.
Great. And where can people find out more about you or Epic Author?
So there's a couple places, brother, and thank you for asking. The best place to get in touch with Epic Author or with me, I guess, go to our website. So you can go to trevorcrane.com, and I give tons of tools and resources and free gifts and things to just support you and figure it out. You can also go to epicauthor.com, which is our publishing company, and you're going to see how we can get you consistent leads and sales and leverage authorship in your most powerful marketing tool. But if you've got a phone, guys, I'm going to give you a way to send a text message and get my app, and I'll help you put it right on your phone. You'll see my little face right there. And I will give you a free book. I'll give you a free training and an invitation to join our Instant Author Challenge. So pull out your phone and send a text message. You want to text message the word Trevor, that's my name, to 36260. So text message the word Trevor to 36260. In a couple of clicks, you'll have my app on your phone. I'll give you one of my best-selling books for free. I'll give you a free training to help you become a best-selling author in 90 days or less. And I'll invite you to our 5-day Instant Author Challenge.
Trevor, that's very generous of you. Thank you so much for that offer. That was text Trevor to 36260. I'm going to do that as soon as we're done here. Trevor, thank you again for spending so much time with me to discuss all this, all great content, all great advice. Once again, check out trevorcrane.com and epicauthor.com. Text Trevor to 36260. And yeah, Trevor, thank you again.
Great to meet you, brother, and thank you for having me on the show.
If you'd like to hear more about personal branding,
there's never been a better time to position yourself, package yourself for the marketplace, for you to get recognized, for you to get respected. People have to know about you. Without authority, you're a commodity. A commodity has limited value in society, where a brand is an asset. Invest in your asset.
If you haven't already, check out episode 69, where John Michael of Image Group International discusses his process for building, growing, and monetizing personal brands. Well, that's all we have for today. As always, thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.
This has been Inside Forbes Councils. Please be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're a member of the Forbes Councils and would like to participate in our podcast series, please email your member concierge. If you're interested in joining a Forbes Council, learn more at forbescouncils.com.